This morning I was studying my Bible and I got to Second Timothy chapter 1. You can start reading from verse 1 to 5, but I am going to be dwelling more on verse 5. Verse 5 says, I am reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded now lives in you also. Second Timothy chapter 1. I read verse 5. You can start your reading from verse 1. So, oftentimes we realize that most of our children, they imitate what they see us do. Apostle Paul was actually talking about Timothy in that Bible passage we just read, saying that the faith of Timothy started from his grandmother Lois, then to his mother Eunice, then finally to Timothy. So you can see that the faith journey kept moving from one generation to another generation. And Apostle Paul made it clear that Timothy's faith was genuine, was sincere. KJV version tells us it is genuine. NIV, I just read, it is sincere. So if there is a genuine faith, there is an ingenuine faith. People who have relationship with God, who seem to have a relationship with God, but they are not sincere about it. People who have a form of godliness, but denies the power therein. These are unsincere faith, ungenuine faith, or fake faith. It is common nowadays. You see people in church, you see people of faith living one life in church, living another life outside of church. That is insincere faith. As a mother, what kind of faith are you carrying on to your children? What kind of faith are you showing to your children? Is it genuine? Is it sincere? Or is it a faith that is fake? Your children are noticing. They are watching you. They are noticing you. So if you are carrying on a sincere faith, how can you carry that sincere faith to the end? If you check Acts of the Apostle chapter 16, verse 1 to 2, it says, Paul came to Derbe and then to Lystra, where a disciple named Timothy lived, whose mother was Jewish and a believer, but whose father was a Greek. The believers at Lystra and Iconium spoke well of him. Mothers, come closer. You are the one I want to talk to now. This is what the Bible is telling us about Timothy. His mother Eunice is a believer, but his father is Greek. And according to that contrast, we see that his father is not a believer. His father is an unbeliever. So most of us who have husbands, who have spouses that are not believers, that should not hinder us from instilling good virtue into our children. The fact that their father is not doing the right thing, is not going the right way, does not mean that you should then leave these children to themselves or leave them to whatever they want to do. The Bible told us that if an unbelieving man marries a believing woman, she can stay with him if he wants her to stay. And our own belief will make those children pure. And if an unbelieving if a believing man marries an unbelieving woman, the belief, the purity, the righteousness of the man will cover the children, even the wife. So as a mother, don't you ever think that the fact that their father is not doing right, then you leave everything. If your husband is not carrying that spiritual fire, if your husband is not standing as the priest of your home, then the job lies on you to do that for your children. You should stand in the place of the priesthood for your family. That is for those whose husbands are not believers. The fact that your husband is not a believer does not mean you should leave your children to go the way they want to go. It is your job to hold on to those children, transfer your faith from you, which you collected from Christ, Christ gave you, to your children. It should be progressive. Timothy's spiritual foundation did not start from the church. It started from his grandmother to his mother and to him. You must remember that. And if today we can still talk about Timothy, Timothy was a strong pillar for Christianity in the Bible. We're still talking about Timothy today. So your children also do not have an excuse. You do not have an excuse to say, oh, because their father is not a believer or their father is not from your faith, then you cannot transfer your faith to your children. You can see this example in the life of Eunice and Timothy. And today, we are still talking about that boy, that young lady Eunice, who got married to a Greek man, to an unbeliever, raised a boy who is a believer. You have no excuse, and that boy has no excuse. As a mother, you have a profound influence on the spiritual life of your children. How you want those children to be spiritually, you can start it now. You can start imbibing it in them now. Start pouring it in them now. I want to show you 7 ways to influence your children spiritually. Quickly, before we move ahead, 7 ways to influence your children spiritually. Number 1,